Portland Pilots are the 2016 West Coast Conference champions.
Sharp! In another dimension!
And it's gone! A walk-off two-run home run by Tate Budnick, and the Pilots win it.
The Portland Pilots win their first national championship in overtime.
We'd like to welcome the new women's rowing head coach, Gulliver Scott, to the University of Portland. Gulliver comes to UP from St. Mary's, obviously, where he was the associate head coach, and now he's the third head coach in Portland program history. Gulliver, welcome to the Bluff.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Really excited.
And so you come to the Rose City with a ton of coaching experience, which includes the last 3 years at St. Mary's. What attracted you to the Portland job?
We've had a friendly rivalry with Portland here from St. Mary's, and so I've been a fan of the program kind of from afar. I think Portland really combines a top-notch academic institution with such a broad offering, but in a small school setting. So being a part of that campus life is really appealing to me. And then I think the rowing program is just poised to just kind of take the next step. You know, I know the previous coaches have done a great job getting the program up and running. And there's just a ton of momentum behind things right now. I think there are a lot of exciting things happening in Portland athletics in general, and certainly for the rowing program.
So you mentioned taking the next step. Let's talk about that. What are your goals for this program, both short-term and long-term?
Well, I think, short term, I've got to get settled and get to know all of our student athletes and figure out who's who and kind of where we go from there. On a competitive level, we're trying to crack into the top 3 in the conference is the first goal. And from there, try to get into that qualifying position for nationals.
And so you mentioned your student athletes in these times of COVID, pretty tough to meet with people in person. That being said, have you met with the team, and what was your message?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet with the team briefly this morning. And a couple key points to my message. One was just a little more patience as I kind of get settled and make the transition. I know there's, with all the uncertainties out in the world right now, that this vacancy was hard for them. So that was the first thing, is just to give me a little time to get settled. But then we're going to dive into the work, and I'm a big believer in building and creating relationships through working together. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. So I'm going to be making use of technology and having some one-on-one meetings with everybody in the next couple of weeks. And then I was really clear with them to look forward to working hard and to have fun doing it.
And as you probably know, Portland has a boathouse up in Vancouver Lake, but eventually we're going to have an on-campus boathouse down on the Willamette River. We'll become one of the only programs in the nation with an on-campus boathouse. How big is that for your program?
It's a game changer. Like you said, there are very few programs that can boast a boathouse that is on campus, that our student athletes can literally walk to from campus. And so I think it's an amazing project overall for UP athletics, and certainly for rowing, to really have a world-class facility that close to campus is something that I'm really excited about. I know our athletes are excited about, and it's really going to be a game changer for us.
And the West Coast Conference, obviously very strong in rowing. Coming from St. Mary's, you have some inside knowledge. So Portland consistently, though, has finished in the upper half of the conference. What do you think it's going to take to not only maintain Portland's level of success, but maybe crack those top 3 spots that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's going to take a concerted effort from top to bottom, and that starts with me as the head coach, and it's everything from taking a look at team culture and buy-in and seeing how we can increase that a little bit, to recruiting and reaching out and accessing some of my networks and finding student athletes coming out of junior and high school rowing that are going to be a good fit for our program. And then, there are no secrets in rowing. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and love for your team and love for the sport.
I also saw that you mentioned that Portland is a great place to live. As a Portland native, I completely agree with that statement. Do you think that can help you in recruiting?
Oh, absolutely. I think Portland is a huge draw, and having had the experience of recruiting sort of against Portland the past few years, I know there are a lot of great athletes from California, both Southern California, Northern California, Washington, that are really attracted to Portland. So I think it's a great fit, and those are all rowing hotbeds. So I'm looking forward to being able to use that in our recruiting.
Well, welcome once again to the Pacific Northwest, Gulliver Scott, the new women's rowing head coach at the University of Portland. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you absolutely nothing but success in the future.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.